Hello everyone and welcome to lesson 7. This is dividing fractions. So our objective is I can divide fractions by using keep, change, flip. And today we have vocab. I feel like we haven't had vocab in a while. And this is the first time we've had real vocab. So today it's the only word we have is reciprocal. And let me highlight that, give it some color. So reciprocal. What do you multiply to get the value of 1? The reciprocal is also called the multiplicative inverse. So whatever you multiply times a value to get 1. So if we look at 2/3 times 3/2, so here our reciprocal is 3/2. It's also our multiplicative inverse. So if we were to multiply straight across, we would get 3 times 2 equals 6. And 3 times 2 again equals 6. And when you reduce that, 6 divided by 6 is 1. So see how our value is 1. But here's my little hack for remembering what a reciprocal or a multiplicative inverse is. So the hack is a fraction flipped around. So if we look at 2/3, our numerator is 2 and our denominator is 3. Now if we were to flip it like our hack suggests, so we flip 2 on the bottom and 3 goes on the top, it would be 3/2 now. And I'm going to highlight these, but technically 3 is now our numerator, but I'm going to highlight it so we can see the same colors. So we flipped our 2 and our numerator became our denominator, and now our denominator has become our numerator. So that's what a reciprocal is, a flipped fraction. All right, welcome to Unlock the Problem. This is 2/3 divided by 1/6. So I'm going to begin by keeping my 2/3 and changing my division and flipping my 1/6. So KCF. So let's rewrite that. So it would be keep the 2/3, change my division symbol to multiplication, and flip my 1/6, which when you flip it, it's 6/1. Now I can multiply straight across. So when I multiply, remember I just line up the top and the bottom. So 2 times 6 equals 12, and 3 times 1 equals 3. And I know 3 can go into both of these, so I can divide the bottom and the top by 3 to simplify. And 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. And when we write that out, all whole numbers have that invisible line and 1 underneath, right? So this is just a whole number what? It's just a whole number 4. Good. So our final answer is 4. So 2/3 divided by 1/6 equals 4. All right, welcome to steps. So this is step 1, and it's to keep the first fraction the same. So our key word here is keep. So let's highlight it. Keep the fraction the same. So the first fraction here is 2/3. So 2/3 we will keep the same. Next we have step 2, which is to change the division sign to multiplication. So change is our key word here. And we're working with the same example of 2/3 divided by 1/6 equals, I'm actually going to rewrite step 1 and include my 2/3 up here. And I'm going to highlight it, the red, to show that we're keeping it. And then step 2, I'm going to rewrite this real quick. So 2/3 is keep the same. Here it is, here and here. Now for orange, we're changing the division symbol here. And we're changing it to multiplication over here. And for step 3, we have flip the second fraction. So I'm going to highlight this. And flip is our keyword here. So if I write out my example again. So when I keep 2/3, change the division symbol to multiplication and flip 1/6. So I flipped 1/6 to 6/1. And let me highlight all my other important parts. So I have what I kept 2/3, and I changed my multiplication, or division to multiplication. And for step 4, simplify if possible. So I have 2/3 times 6/1, and I rewrite that, it'd be 2 times 6/3 times 1. And I can see here that 3 can go into 6 and 3. So I can divide 3 by 3 and 6 by 3. And when I rewrite that, when I reduce, it's 2 times 6 divided by 3 is 2. And 3 divided by 3 is 1. And I bring over my times 1. And I'm done here because now I need to multiply across, which is step 5. And step 5 is to multiply across. So I have 2 times 2 over 1 times 1. And 2 times 2 is 4. And 1 times 1 is 1. And then finally I have step 6, which is to just simplify if necessary. So it might not be necessary to simplify for more from where you are, but sometimes it will be necessary. So here we have 4/1, and all numbers have a 1 underneath, so it equals 4. And that's it for steps. So let's move on to examples. All right, so example 1 is 5/6 divided by 3. And remember, when we have a whole number, all whole numbers have that invisible line and a 1 underneath. So we need to rewrite this problem before we can do any KCF. So I'm going to rewrite it with 3/1. Now I can do some KCF. So I am going to keep 5/6, change the division, and flip 3/1. So when I do that, let's rewrite it. 5/6 we keep. We change the division symbol to multiplication. And then we flip 3/1. So when we flip 3/1, we get 1/3. And that's what our F in KCF. And now I can just multiply straight across. So when I rewrite this, I have 5 times 1 over 6 times 3. Now I can just multiply across. So if we look back at our steps, I'm skipping step 4, which was to simplify first, if possible, because we can't simplify first, right? So we're going straight to multiply across, and then we can simplify afterwards if we can. So 5 times 1 equals 5, and 6 times 3 equals 18. Okay, so we have example 2 here, and this time we're dividing 3/4 divided by 1/8. So we have to use KCF, our keep, change, flip. So our first fraction is 3/4, so we're going to rewrite that and keep 3/4. And then we're going to change division symbol to multiplication. And finally, we're going to flip 1/8 into 8/1. All right, now we can rewrite this, since we're multiplying, as 3 times 8 over 4 times 1, which I can see here that 4 and 8 can go into each other. So 4 divided by 4 and 8 divided by 4. So when I rewrite that, I have 3 times 8 divided by 4, which is 2, over 4 divided by 4, which is 1, times 1, because that stays the same. And now I can multiply straight across. So 3 times 2 is 6 over 1, because 1 times 1 is 1. And 6 over 1 is the same as just one whole number, 6. And that is it for this lesson. The most important thing to remember from this lesson is KCF. So kind of like Kentucky Fried Chicken, except Kentucky Cape change flip instead of Kentucky Fried. So KCF, where K is our keep, where C is our change, we change the symbol, and F is our flip, because you flip the second fraction.